Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori and I wanted to do a video today on how to astral travel, which you can call bilocation, you can call teleporting, you can call it, traveling in your etheric body, all kinds of things that you can call it. But what it is our natural ability to energetically move into other dimensions, other portals, other timelines that exist right now, currently with us, etheric cities that are inside the earth that are vibrating at higher frequencies. Why do we want to start doing this? Because it is a beautiful way to be able to experience consciously higher states, higher dimensions, higher frequencies, higher consciousnesses. It's an ability to move into dimensions that other higher beings, higher dimensional beings exist in. So you can begin to interact with 5th dimensional beings, 10th dimensional beings, 12th dimensional beings, ascended masters, angels, star beings. You can begin to understand and receive knowledge, information, guidance. When you travel in your etheric body into these other realms, these other portals, these other dimensions, you are in your etheric body, which is an energetic light body, and it's capable of holding higher frequencies. So it can move into these portals and these dimensions and these etheric cities and temples very easily. Now, how we typically do this is in our dream state. The reason we do it in our dream state is because our mind and our ego are what we like to call asleep, resting, quiet, not working in that moment. And so we are capable of leaving the physical body with our etheric body, our light body, and we can go and explore many different spaces and time, many different realities, many different dimensions. And so a lot of times what's happening currently is that a lot of us are starting to understand that the dream state is not really dreaming. It's actually living by using your etheric body to journey all over the place. So yes, the 3rd dimensional aspect of us is resting. The physical body is resting because it needs the rest. The etheric body is it's out, it's going, it's learning, it's receiving information, it's receiving guidance, it's receiving activations, it's traveling all over the place. And I guarantee you, many of you have been having really potent dreams lately, probably dreams that feel very real. And you are probably being taken to places that you have existed in, either in the past or in the future. They're all existing at the same time. So what I want to talk about is, how do you do it? It's first of all, it's very normal. It's very normal once you start to do it. But what we want to start to do is do these types of traveling in our conscious waking mind, in our waking state. The reason we want to start to do this in our waking state is because we can then remember what we did. We can remember what information we received. We can remember who we were with and what they did with us. And we can control it, meaning we can ask, hey, I want to go here. Hey, I want to go here. Hey, I want to go sit in front of these masters. I want to go spend some time with Jesus and Mother Mary. I want to go to a temple inside one of the Tibetan, temples. I want to go inside Mount Shasta. I want to go on a ship. And when I go on that ship, I want them to activate me and give me light activations. We have to start to understand that we have this ability. We absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, have this ability. We are not just this physical body. We have a mental body, we have an emotional body, and we have an etheric body. We have actually more bodies, but I just am talking about those. So the etheric body is just as real as my physical body sitting here. It's just us being able to start to comprehend this and start to play with it. The biggest challenge we have is that when we start to do it in a conscious way, our mind and our ego stop it. Our mind and our ego tell us we're making it up. Our mind and our ego tell us there's absolutely no way this is happening. And it blocks it and it stops it. So we have to start to practice. And the more you do it, the more you relax into it and the easier it becomes. The more you trust it, the more you believe it, the more you know that it's real. And that can take some time, but it's where we are going. It's what we're all going to be able to do. In 5 years from now, everybody's going to be traveling in their etheric bodies all over the place to receive, until we're capable of shifting our frequency high enough to be able to experience in our everyday reality, but we're not there yet. So let's use our etheric bodies to travel, to experience. So I wanted to share a couple of steps that you can start to do to play around with and learn how to astral travel. Now, if you've taken any journeys with me, any of my group journeys or any of my journeys, one-on-one journeys into Telos, you've traveled in your astral body, in your etheric body. You've astral traveled. You've teleported. And for those of you that have done it a couple times, you know that it gets easier. That each time you go in, you see more, you feel more, you're more relaxed. You start to venture out on your own more. You just start to get used to it. It's like anything. And so as you begin to start to do this, just be gentle with yourself. Don't have any expectations, and that's really hard because we like to have expectations. Don't have expectations, and actually trust and believe that it can be as easy as it's going to seem. That's the crazy thing. It's so freaking easy that you don't believe that you're doing it because it's so easy. It's like a trick that humans play on themselves. Like, wait, I'm actually sitting here in my third dimensional body and I'm also on a ship. How is that possible? How is it possible that I can be in both places at once? That's astral traveling in a conscious way. That's traveling in your etheric body. That's teleporting. So, a preface. One thing I want to say before I give you the steps. A huge, huge part of doing this kind of traveling is that you have to be very, very grounded. So you have to feel your physical body the entire time. So what we're used to doing and what we think is how it's going to be is that you're going to leave your body and just go travel and not be present, not be conscious, not be aware, maybe knock yourself out, fall asleep, and then wake back up. That's not astral traveling, okay? It's astral traveling in your dream state. But when you're trying to do it in a conscious way, you have to be very alert, very conscious, and the only way you can do that is by being as grounded down in your physical body as possible. So what's going to happen when you start to try this, when you start to play around with this, is you're going to feel yourself pretty heavy. You're going to feel that you're sitting in this room. If I were to try to astral travel right now, I'd close my eyes, I'd ground down, I'd get that grounding cord down, open up crown, bring in my light, and then I would take myself out and go. As I'm doing that, no matter where I go, I'm also very consciously aware that I'm in my physical body, sitting here, right here on my couch. So I'm aware of both aspects of me at the exact same time. So just because you're aware of both aspects of you doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean it's not real. That is what it feels like. It feels like you are sitting in your physical form, on your couch or on your bed or wherever it is, and you're also wherever you're taking yourself, to a temple, maybe to another part of the country, maybe inside Mount Shasta, maybe to another planet. I don't know, wherever the heck you want to go, right? But you're going to be there. And the tricky thing is you're also going to feel yourself sitting at the same time. So you're going to think, how the freak am I both places? That's how it is. That's you doing it. That's astral traveling. That's it. You are not out of the physical body somewhere else and completely disconnected. You're connected the whole time. You're connected the whole time. So, and you want to be because that's how you ground it down into your humanness. That's how you ground it down. That's how you remember. when you don't remember journeys, when you don't remember meditations, when you don't remember experiences that you have when you close your eyes, it's because you left the body, okay? And the only way to keep these things real and conscious and a benefit for you is to be in the physical body and remembering it, okay? So here are the steps. Number one, you want to find a quiet place that you can be alone. So don't be disturbed. You're not going to get disrupted by the phone, by music, by the door, by anything. Okay, so it's really important, and when you first start doing this, that you have complete silence. The other thing is, don't do it at night when you're about to go to bed, because you're going to fall asleep. So, and don't do it when you're taking a nap. Don't do it anytime you want to rest. You want to do it when you're wide awake, okay? That's going to help you stay present and stay awake. So that's the first thing. Find a quiet place and do it while you're not tired, you're not taking a nap, you're not going to bed at night. Don't do it when you're, I would recommend, if you're going to do it outside, that you do it outside in a place where you're not going to get disturbed. You're not going to hear people walk by. The less distractions you have, the easier. Number one. Number two, you're going to settle in. And the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously close your eyes. Then you're going to bring your awareness and your consciousness into your belly. Okay? And you're going to bring your awareness down into the base of your spine. And what you want to do is you're going to create an energetic grounding cord. It's extremely important to do this step because, like I said earlier, you have to ground down. You have to stay in the physical form. You're staying in it and you're leaving with your etheric body. So you want to create an energetic grounding cord. So you can imagine this cord as wide as you'd like it or as thin as you want. You can have it be a color. You can have it be a certain texture, look like something specific, maybe a rope or whatever it is you want. A layering of flowers, whatever. But it's going from the base of your spine all the way down to the middle of the earth where you're going to find an anchor and you're going to wrap this energetic cord around the anchor. As I'm talking about this right now with our eyes wide open, it might sound silly, but it's extremely, extremely important. Don't miss that step. Step 3, you're going to move up to the crown and you're going to ask for your crown chakra to open and you're going to ask for your higher self to come in. It doesn't matter if you feel this. It doesn't matter if you see this. It doesn't matter any of that. As long as you intend for it to happen, it will happen. The reason you do this step is because it's opening you up and expanding you, allowing the light to come in, and your higher self is going to guide the etheric journey. So it's your ego and your mind are settling down. Oh, your higher self's always embodying you in some way, shape, or form, in some sort of flow, right? Tiny flow, but flow. But when you open the crown and ask for that higher self to come in, then your higher self is coming in to kind of take over and kind of help you run this etheric journey. If you don't feel guided to do that, that is not an absolute necessary step, but I would suggest that in the beginning. Step number 4, you are going to bring your awareness to your spine, and you just want to spin counterclockwise this tube of light that runs along your spine. Just do these steps. Don't worry about whether they make sense or not. Don't worry about whether you feel them. Don't worry about whether they're happening or not. In the beginning, most of you aren't going to feel any of this. It's just going to sound like words coming out of your mouth, but just do it. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to become, and the more you're actually going to feel this happening. The reason you're going to spin that light is it's going to spin the light inside of you, and it's just going to raise the frequency a little bit in you. It's going to make it a little bit easier. It's going to increase the light frequency, the light quotient inside of you, and it's going to make it just a tad bit easier to move into the etheric body and to move the etheric body out of the physical body. So step 1, find a quiet place, preferably not when you're sleeping. Step 2, bring your awareness down into your belly to the base of your spine, create the grounding cord, bring it all the way down to the middle of the earth, wrap it around the anchor. Step 3, open up crown, bring higher self in. Step 4, come to the spine and ask for that spine, the tube of light that runs along your spine to spin counterclockwise right to left. If you do all of that, your physical body is ready, okay? Again, don't get too caught up in the head and in the mind that it's not working. Just go with it. This step is the step that you're just going to have to go with. All of them you're just going to have to go with. But this is the step where you have to really let go. And you have to just allow this to be true, okay? you are going to take your etheric body, which is a light body, and you're going to imagine your etheric body coming out of the physical body and either standing or sitting or doing whatever it's going to do outside of you. This is going to feel very uncomfortable and odd for many of you. And there's going to be many of you that aren't going to actually feel that part of you stepping outside of you. That's okay. Just like every other step we've done. Even if you don't see it, feel it, hear it, know it to be true, do it anyways. Just say it out loud to yourself. I'm bringing my etheric body, and I'm bringing my etheric body outside of my physical body, and my etheric body is now standing outside of my physical body, ready to go. If there are guides, beings that you want to bring in to this journey you're going to go on, invite them in this moment to take you. If there are, and let them guide you to where they're going to take you. And the next thing you know, maybe you're going to fly. Maybe you're going to jump into a Merkaba and go somewhere. And maybe you're just going to end up within seconds being somewhere else, bringing yourself somewhere else. One of the things I forgot to mention is make sure in the beginning that you have, I mean, it doesn't, not make sure, but it's good to kind of have an idea of where you want to go. It'll make it a little bit easier. So let's just say you want to go on a ship. You want to go to a ship where the Palladians are, right? So you would take yourself out of your physical body, imagining your etheric body in front of you. And then you would imagine yourself flying or being taken up. Just imagine yourself floating. And then the next thing you're going to notice is you're going to put yourself, you're going to move the etheric body. And again, remember, this is being guided by your higher self. You're going to imagine and put yourself in that spaceship, in that craft. And then at that point, you're going to start to feel yourself in both spots. You're going to start to think that this isn't real. But this is where the imagination, which isn't an actual imagination, it's actually real. This is when you allow your imagination, you allow your senses to come alive. You allow yourself to start to feel into where you are. You allow yourself to trust. This is such a huge piece, because the reason this doesn't work for so many of us is because we think that we're imagining it. We think that we're making it up. And unfortunately, that's such a disservice to us, because we're not. We're actually there. You're actually there. Think about, all the places you've been. It's just, there's so many dimensions. There's so many realities to jump into. There's so many portals, energetic portals to go into. There are so many realities existing in different frequencies and dimensions that we have the ability as energetic beings to go into. It's absurd to think that we can't. We just have to believe that when we're there, whatever it is that we're starting to feel into, let yourself feel into. Let yourself be there. And if you're just sitting in a really dark room, allow yourself to just do that. If you're struggling and fighting by going in between and back and forth, allow yourself to do that. If you're just taking off and flying around, allow yourself to fly. For some of you, that might be what the first thing that you do is you just jump out of the body and start flying around. Fly. We fly all the time in our dream state. Start flying. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. It's so freeing, and it's amazing when you start to do it, because you remember that you've done it so many times in your dream state. And start flying around. Go to different cities, states, oceans, rivers, mountains. Fly. When you're flying, or in any part of your journey when you're learning to travel and your etheric body, your imagination is not how we have been taught imagination is. Your ability to see, your ability to feel, your ability to hear is not imagination, it's real. Allow yourself to open to it. Allow yourself to have it. Who cares? What if it is an imagination? Well, at least you're having a fun imagination journey. Who cares? Don't be so hard on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves and we beat ourselves up. But what I would suggest is, if you have an idea of where you want to go, it's always a good thing. If you have really close relationships with certain beings or certain ascended masters or even your higher self, allow them to take you somewhere. That takes a little more trust. That takes a little more faith and a little less control. But if that feels good to you, then do that as well. Ask them to take you. Ask them to show you where you need to go. Ask them to guide you somewhere. But the more you do it, the easier it will be. So I'm just going to go over the steps really fast one more time. Number 1 is to find a really quiet place, preferably not when you're going to bed or taking a nap, and around nobody, no interruptions. Number 2, close eyes, ground down. So get into the physical body, bring yourself into your belly, to the base of your spine, create the grounding cord. As wide as you'd like it or as thin as you'd like it. Take this grounding cord from the base of your spine all the way down to the middle of the earth where there's an anchor, and you're going to wrap it around the anchor, holding yourself down. Third step, bring your awareness to the crown, to open crown, and bring higher self in. This is a step you can skip if you want, but I think it's an important step in the beginning. All of these steps are things that you're not necessarily going to be comfortable with, that you're not going to necessarily feel or see or hear. Do them anyway. Prepare yourself. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Eventually, you will start to feel it. Step number 4, bring your awareness to your spine once again. There's a tube of light that runs along your spine. Intend and ask for that tube of light to spin counterclockwise, right to left. Okay? Perfect. Now your physical body is ready. Then, at this point, you can invite any guides you want in, your higher self to step out and guide you, any ascended masters to guide you, any specific star beings to guide you, whoever it is, or nobody, and you already know where you're going to go. So then you visualize your etheric body moving out of the physical body. This is step number 5. You visualize your etheric body outside the physical body. Again, it's okay if you don't see anything. It's okay if you don't feel anything. It's okay if you don't know that it's happening. It's happening by setting your intention. And then at that point, you can travel. So you can fly. You can visualize and imagine yourself wherever you're going to go. And bring yourself into that space. You can fly to that space and put yourself into that temple, or put yourself into that that ship, or put yourself into that civilization, or put yourself into another place in the country or in the world that you want to go to. And then once you're there, just settle in and allow yourself to feel whatever you're going to feel. Some of you are going to see things. Let yourself see things. If you have really close guides that you're close to, let them show you. And trust. Just say yes to everything you see. Say yes to everything you feel. Say yes. Just trust it. Trust it. Trust it. Just trust it. Let the imagination play. And if it's dark, and if you're just sitting on your couch twiddling your thumbs, nothing's happening, I invite you to keep doing it. It just takes practice. It just takes practice. Some of us are very stubborn. Some of us really want it to be a specific way. We want to control it. We want to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing before we do it. We want to have so much control over it that you don't allow the natural process to happen. So you have to be able to let go. You have to be able to have fun. You have to be able to trust and not get frustrated. And remember throughout the entire thing that you are going to still feel like you're sitting or laying right where your physical body is. It's supposed to be that way. So you're going to feel the coming and going, the being over there in wherever space you're in, and being right here. So just know that that's very normal, very natural, and that's part of it. So that is my 5 simple steps. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you need any clarity on any of the steps. Comment below if you do it. Comment below anything that you experience. Comment below if you need more clarity on a certain thing. Hopefully that was clear enough, but I don't know. Just know that it's happening in your dream state, and it's time for us to start doing it in our waking state. And there are huge benefits to it, because you will feel yourself in a higher frequency. You'll feel yourself in a higher dimension. So you'll already start to recognize that you are not just this physical form. And it's a beautiful feeling to feel that. You'll start to put yourself in areas, spaces with higher dimensional beings. So you'll start to recognize what it feels like to connect. You'll feel the connection of higher dimensional beings. You'll feel what it feels like to be energetically exchanging these frequencies with these beings. You're training your six senses. You're training your clairsentience and your clairaudience and your clairvoyance. You're training all these, the clairvoyance. You're training these aspects of you by going in and taking these astral travels, these etheric travels, these etheric journeys. You're training yourself because you're putting yourself in these higher frequencies, in these higher dimensions, and you're having to access parts of yourself that you don't need to access in the third dimension. You can receive activations, you can receive healings, guidance, anything you want. You can sit on this couch like I am, and you can ask to be taken somewhere, and you can ask for a healing, you can ask for an activation, you can ask to be taken to a mountaintop or a river or whatever, and to have Mother Mary come, or your higher self just show up and do this work on you, whatever you want. It's a beautiful thing. And it allows you to recognize that you're not just this third dimensional physical form, that many of us know in our mind, but not all of us have actually begun to play around with that and start to step out of the physical body in a conscious way. And again, like I said, no doubt in my mind, 5 years from now, I mean, so many people are going to be talking about this and healing themselves through astral traveling, activating themselves through astral traveling, bringing groups of people to meet these highly potent high vibrational beings in a group in a temple somewhere. I mean, it's going to be very common. Mark my words. It'll be very common that we're all going to just be able to do this. So start now. Play around now. Start having fun. So that's it. That is all she wrote for this one. Let me know what goes on, how you do. Don't give up. Just keep doing it. And happy travels. Happy traveling in that space. Have fun. And I love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Lots of love to you.